Welcome to episode 17 of your ONELife podcast with Stenner Fitness. Julie and I are live again on Zoom, and we'll put it up on YouTube. So if you're listening on whatever podcast platform you're on, you can also check us out live on YouTube, and we'll give the links to that below. Today's going to be a bit of a different style. It's more of an interview one. So the title is going to be How to Conquer Your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. And it's a little bit different today because Julie's going to be interviewing me about one of my big goals. Despite that, I think there's a lot of great takeaways that everyone can learn from and apply to their goals.
Okay, so should we start off with what we're drinking?
We have to.
Okay, so
People keep talking about it.
We have to start off with what we're drinking. So it's Sunday afternoon. We just did a track workout. Oh, I should say this too. For those of you watching live, I'm wearing my Swim Canada shirt because this weekend is the Canadian Olympic swimming trial. So we've been watching that a lot with the girls, which has been awesome.
And what's really neat, and most of you may not care about this, but the swim club our daughters are part of, it goes from beginner up through university. So there's people there, part of her team with her swim cap on. And it's a really neat thing for her to see people with her t-shirt and her swim cap, qualifying to go to the Olympics.
We can say, so it's UCSC, so University of Calgary Swim Club. So it starts off, she started swimming when she was 6, and it's really cool because, she's like, he's wearing my cap. I'm like, yeah, it's your cap, Sophia. Okay, so what we're drinking is, we should show our cheers. Father's Day.
So I have my dad's the best
and I've
mug.
got my mom's. We know what our girls think of us. So lemon water, and I have trace minerals in there, and also some Himalayan salt to activate more hydration. So I'm trying to get more hydration in, and in the morning before I work out, I love to have this as well before I have my coffee, espresso, or my pre-workout, because just adding the lemon and the Himalayan salt really increases the permeability of water in the cells. I'll just leave it simple like that. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Add a little bit of salt. It helps your body.
Himalayan salt.
It helps your body hydrate better. So little tip for you, especially as you move into the warmer months.
And it also helps to activate your digestion system.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Digestive system. And it helps to alkaline your body. I could talk, we could do a whole podcast about this. Maybe we should.
Over my head. We should. Let's do it.
I don't know if people are interested in that. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be interviewing you, which is kind of fun. Okay. So we'll just get started. So what are you doing?
Okay. So it's somewhat of a concept that I think my friend Rich and I made up, and it's an Everesting Triathlon. And for those of you who don't know, Everesting is a challenge that's big in the cycling world and is slowly moving over to running. And what it is one hill, one ride, and you repeat it as many times as possible, as many times as you have to until it. What are you doing with that? That's very distracting.
I was going to
take a video of me. Go ahead. Go ahead. And that's the joys of doing things live for those of you listening.
I'm trying to do a story of this.
Okay, so what Everesting is one hill, and you repeat it as many times as necessary until you reach the height of Everest. So right around 8,900 meters. So I did it last year on the bike, and it was about 15 hours. And I did it running, but just the half. And that was about 10 or 12 hours, I think. And so now what we're going to do this year is an Everesting Triathlon. And we're going to go from 8,900 meters up to 10,000, because 89 is just a bit of a silly number. So it's going to be a 10K swim followed by 10,000 meter elevation gain on the bike. So we have a hill here, which follows the bobsled track from the 88 Olympics. And so I'll do that probably about 100 times. And then a run that will cover 10,000 meters in elevation gain as well. So I think it'll be about 50 hours all in. And I'm doing it in support of a local charity, Two Wheel View. Check them out. I was on the board of directors there for a few years, and it teaches social emotional learning, teamwork, youth resilience through the bike. So youth go through the program where they learn how to maintain, build, strip down a bike. And at the end of the program, they get a bike, a helmet, and a lock. But throughout the whole thing, they're learning really how to leadership skills, how to work as a team, how to be more resilient youth. And this is a fantastic program. Does so much for the community here. And I'm going to try and raise $5,000 because that's enough to put a whole class through the program.
Okay, so we'll have to set up a link for people wanting to donate to that. We don't have that ready yet, but you're working with Tool of You to get that started,
I'm working with Tool of You, and that link should be going next week or this upcoming week. So if you're listening to it, today is June 20th. So the week of June 21st, that link should be live. And once it is, I'll add it to the show notes, and it'll also be on our YouTube and Instagram pages.
So what are the dates again for your Everesting?
It's going to be September 17th to 19th.
Okay.
We haven't exactly figured out what it's going to look like in terms of timing and when we'll be sleeping or whatnot, but we'll probably start with the swim afternoon of the 17th and then roll into the bike and the run.
Oh, I think you should do it early in the morning, early on the 17th, so you have all day to recover. Like 24 hours to recover. Anyways. That's my 2 cents. So if you're local in Calgary or not local and you really want to do this, we really want to have you. So we're going to be doing the 10K swim in our local lake, Arbor Lake. So it's going to be probably 12 laps.
20.
Oh, 20 laps. Oh God.
And you're doing that with me?
I'm going to do it with him. I'll pace him on that. Make sure that he doesn't go too fast. And it'll be fun. I think we have some friends there to come do a few laps on the swim. Even if you just want to come do a couple laps and cheer and
we're sharing your socials so we can try and get raise some money for local youth in the community.
And it's kind of fun for spectating doing this because you're just you're doing laps or going up and down a hill all day. So it's kind of a great spectator event. Yeah.
And if you just want to join in for a couple laps on the bike or the run, we'll have specific details posted closer to, but it's all going to be local to Northwest Calgary. So.
Okay, so you've gone through what are you doing, and you've also kind of answered my next question, which is why are you doing this?
So 2 reasons. One is I wanted to come up with a way to support Tool of You, and with the pandemic and everything that's going on, it's been difficult for a lot of nonprofits to raise money, and a lot have been put in unfortunate situations. And I want to make sure that we keep Tool of You going for the long term. Not to say they're in any concerns around finances or whatnot, but it's important to make sure that we're promoting and giving visibility to these nonprofits. And the other reason is just to see the limits of human potential. I did the Everesting on the bike last year. I did the half run, and
wait, that was a half run or more than a half run?
It was a half Everest. And I was pretty beat up after that.
That was intense. I was the physio for that. There was a bunch. How many of you guys did that? Like 20? There was like quite a few.
Well, two of us did
showed up at the start line.
Yeah, 2 of us did the half, and then I think 3 people went the whole way.
Yeah, you guys are pretty beat up.
But it's, ever since then, it's just kind of been on the back of my mind, and I want to give it a shot and see if I can do it. People have done Everesting triathlons before. I know of 2 people in the world through my Google searches. 2 people have. I don't know of anyone who's done it though, the 10,000 meter. I think I'll be the first person,
10,000,
first person in the world to do that. And Rich McDonald, you're doing it. So just say yes. Come on.
You can do it. So I'm just kind of thinking through this. So say you do this, we know you can do the swim. For sure. I mean, you have all day to do it, right? We have to set parameters, but you have 24 hours or what are Now I'm asking questions that are not on the question list.
No, so I think the swim will be about 4 hours. And I think
because you don't want to go too fast and be too
and so
fatigued.
The swim is to mitigate the damage later on, and and the key is going to be to eating and drinking enough.
Or should we do
the later goals? I think where the gamesmanship comes in is, do you go from the swim right to the bike, and then the bike, going to be going slower. Let's say that takes 17 hours. So right now, we're at 21. So then I go 21 hours take a bit of a rest, and then start the run, because the run could be a good 24 hours.
I thought you were doing a 3-day event though.
Yeah, but I don't want to start the run at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday, not finish till 6 a.m. on a Monday.
Oh yeah.
I like to finish in daylight on Sunday.
Oh,
but we can get into
this is getting okay. So what if this? My question is this: what if? Well, you've already done the bike, so no, you can do it.
Yeah.
But what if you did the swim, check, didn't make the bike in the 24-hour cutoff? Do you just keep going, or what do you do?
What cutoff?
Is there a 24-hour
There's
cutoff?
there's no
I
cutoff.
thought there was a 24-hour cutoff.
No, the rules for Everesting, as long as you don't sleep.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, as long as you finish the
we know
bike
you can
without
do the
sleeping.
swim. We know you can do the bike. It's gonna come down to, are you gonna be doing this run?
Yeah, and I
keep joking that I'm out of town that weekend.
It's probably a good idea.
But now I can't because I said I'm doing the swim.
Well, we do this on the Friday. You can go around on the weekend. But I think that the thing with the run is, last year I hadn't done strength work, and so I wasn't as durable and resilient as an athlete. I was focusing more just on endurance. And so since a week after that ended and I've recovered, I started with our online fitness programs, and I've been doing those fairly consistently throughout the winter. And so coming into this race season, I feel much stronger. I feel much more durable. And I think my body's just going to hold up to the pounding that much better, because the issue is, it isn't the going up, it's the going down.
Yeah,
that's
the joints. The impact on the joints. That's
where
we're trying to mitigate.
That's where I ran into issues last year. I was fine going up. So the strength is so important, because one, with pools being closed and lakes really only opening a few weeks ago, and the one by us is still really cold. We don't have.
And swimming with a wetsuit is, well, you're going to be doing that anyways.
Yeah, but it's a lot more relying on strength, because I don't have the reps in the pool that I usually have over the winter. So 10K swim for me is going to be difficult, but very doable. The key is going to be strong, so I can really focus on my upper body to get through it. Same with the bike. You need a strong, resilient body so that it can be able to run that long the next day. And then the strength is so important, because I think it's going to let me get through that run.
With the pulling too, because are you going to use the pools with the run?
I'll use pools a bit too.
Yeah, because you got to use your upper body as much as you can to power up those hills.
And I think, the takeaway there that everyone can apply is, strength is so important now, to whether you just have a desk job and you need to have that durability and resilience. So when you finish sitting at your chair for the whole day, you can go do something, right? Or if you're a new parent, you just have a strong body, because they will use you as a jungle gym. And when your kids are young, and even now, and Sophia's getting heavy, she's 8, they see your role as objects to hang off of.
Yeah, and they want you to carry me here, give me a piggyback up the stairs. So it's like,
lie down so I can surf on your back.
I did my leg weights.
So it's knowing no one on listening to this podcast is probably silly enough to do an Everesting Triathlon. Doing the strength work is crucial for whatever sport you're doing.
It's way more important than endurance.
Yeah, and just for daily living. So that is going to be key.
And skeletal strength too. As we age, it's inevitable, but we're all losing bone mass as well. So keeping up that strength really keeps up that bone mass and prevents injuries that way.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess you've kind of covered, we kind of keep crossing into the next question. So my next question is all about training. So what is your specific training plan? Do you have a training plan, or are you just going with the flow? I have not seen any type of training plan listed other than our strength. But you can't just lift weights and then run up mountains. You still have to work on the endurance piece. So how are you going to do that?
So, I mean, as you know, if you follow me on Instagram or YouTube, my moniker is a time crunch triathlete. And that's because, as a busy professional with 2 young kids who still likes to be involved in the family life, I don't have a lot of time. So what I'm doing for training is not that dissimilar to my Olympic distance prep for Olympic distance triathlon, which is 1,500-meter swim, 40K bike, 10K run. And the reason for that is twofold. One, I still have some races end of August for that. And Worlds is maybe happening now in the fall, maybe not.
Maybe we're going to
We have
Belize
no
or
idea.
something.
No idea. So I want to keep that speed work up. The other reason I'm following that plan is because I'm a firm believer in having efficient, well-structured workouts and workout programs. So I don't need to go do, 6-hour bike rides every day. Most of my training is done between 45 minutes and 90 minutes. So very rarely do I do anything longer than 2 hours. And the reason that works is because I'm doing it at, prescribed effort levels that I can, kind of then stretch out. So to put it another way, the faster you are, the easier it is to go at a lower speed, right? So for example,
yeah,
and I was going to use a bit of a cycling analogy here, and I'm sorry if I lose someone, but let's say my wattage I can hold for an hour. So the power I can hold on the bike for an hour is 350. If that's at 350, it's easier for me to ride at 200 for a long time. Whereas if my power is only 250, it gets awfully hard to ride at 200. So, hopefully that doesn't lose you, but essentially what I'm trying to do is raise my ceiling so it's easier for me to go at a decent pace.
Higher intensity for longer. Yeah, just like anything really.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? Did you cover all?
I think so, because I've already talked about the strength.
Yeah.
So I think that's
okay. So what do you think is going to be the hardest part of the training, of the event? Nutrition, we haven't talked about that.
That's because I'm scared of the nutrition aspect. The training's fun. I'm not worried about the training. I've been training consistently for back at it in triathlon for probably 3 years now. And so that's something I really enjoy. And as you can tell, it's a big part of our life. So that's fun. That's playtime for me. So not worried about that. In terms of the actual event, it's going to be mental strength and durability.
Support.
We
need people to come cheer.
Yeah. And the reason is when you start, even 20 laps swimming over a lake, we do 2 or 3 and we're like, all right, that's pretty good. We're good. And one of it is it can get boring. And when you're starting out and you've done 2 and you say, okay, I have another 18 or I have another 3 hours and 40 minutes of swimming now, that's a long time. And when you're doing it on the bike, and it's going to be north of 15 hours.
You're not going to have Rich like he did.
Oh, Rich is doing it.
Or maybe he will.
He has to now.
We keep mentioning him.
So. He probably will listen to this episode. So it's going to be hard to start the swim knowing that, really for the next 50 hours, all you're doing is going up and down.
Yeah.
Or a mountain or around and around the same lake.
We'll have to really dial into the nutrition too, because then you start to get delirious after a while.
Yeah. And so,
it's like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
I told you what I'm doing. So, but I think that's where it's important. And these are some strategies I think that can really apply to everyone is you have to look. One is you have to take things in bite-sized pieces. And, when I'm starting the swim or starting the bike or starting the run, I'm not thinking actively about hour 20 or hour 24 or lap 78 of the bike or whatever it is, because it just gets too overwhelming. All I need to do in that moment is do one stroke in the swim and then the next, or one pedal of evolution on the bike or one more step on the run. And that's all I need to worry about, right? So you can really simplify a big goal by looking at it in bite-sized pieces. All I need to do is make this phone call. All I need to do is send this email. And every day, if you just do those things, I think things add up. But at the same time, yes, you want to take bite-sized pieces, but you still need an eye towards the end. So when you have that difficult phone call to make or that difficult email to send or that project you've been stalling on, one, it's a bite-sized piece, just do it. and then know why you're doing it. You're doing it to get to whatever your end goal is.
Yeah, if your why is strong enough, the how is just follows. The how is
Yeah.
easy.
And the other reason is it lets you focus in on it. So, to bring it back to this example, when I'm starting out on lap 1 of the swim, I'm not thinking about hour 20 of the run, but I'm still eating and drinking during the swim to prepare myself for hour 20 of the run. And the same thing with your goal, right? I'm making this phone call today because I know that's going to lead to, something else down the road. So focus on what you're doing, but still have that vision in the future and be working towards it.
No, I think that's good. It's like today when we were running at the track, we were doing these repeats. We're only doing 10, but I was like, okay, 10 repeats of this. That just seems like a lot. I'm going to break it down. So in my mind, Kevin's like, oh, we only have this many. I'm like, nope, that's the way, not the way I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it in groups of 2. Like we only have 5 groups of 2. So, and it's totally a mental game.
It's all
of
mental
how
game.
You break it down. So
yeah. And
good thing it's not in salt water, because he won't be super swollen and stuff, all the stuff that comes along with that.
Now you're scaring me. Plus, salt water has animals that can attack you. And I've swam a few times in the ocean, and I saw a jellyfish once, and I was just so freaked out. So
yeah, but you have your suit on. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
It's all good. It's
Okay.
all good.
Plus, you have the tides. Okay. Anyways, so let's move on to the last kind of question that I have for you is about strategy. So, how are you going to strategize? What is your plan for all of this?
Well, I think this goes to anyone's BHAG, the big hairy audacious goal. And that's
BHAG. Hashtag BHAG.
Julie's like, what is this? I'm like,
I know what the big hairy audacious goal is, but I didn't know it was called BHAG.
Everyone in the cycling world knows that. So come on.
People in my mindset world do not call it BHAG.
I think the first point is I need to know, we all need to know what that goal is. What's the BHAG before we start? Because if we're just doing something and we don't know why, one, it's going to be hard to work backwards to engineer it, to work out the training or the processes you need to achieve it. The other thing is when you fail, you don't know what lessons to take out of it if you don't know what the goal is, right? So if I do a long swim set and I fail, that's okay, because now I know, oh, that's great. I failed. I can take the lessons and apply them so I can reach my goal. If I didn't know what the goal was, then it's just a fail without really any learnings. So those are some strategies I'm using. I'm also just, bite-sized pieces, trying to be that 1% better every day. And I think I heard this, where was it? I think it's, oftentimes when we try and be better, we try and do too much too soon. And so we go from kind of that growth zone into, and I forget what it's called, but it's basically like paralysis by fear. And you just try and do too much too soon, and you freeze and you get anxious, and then you retreat way back out of the growth zone into your comfort zone. So people are saying, I think that, take it for what it's worth, but the science is you only want to try and be 3 or 4% outside of your comfort zone. And that's the optimal growth zone. So, whether it's making those calls or doing the work or what you're doing for training, it's not making big, huge, massive changes. It's just every day getting that little bit better, focusing that little bit more on
1% better. That's what we work on with our clients a lot too. Is like just be 1% better than you were yesterday.
Yeah. And the other one is, is what I talked about, focusing on the present with an eye to the future, right? So, when I'm on the bike in the basement, hammering away, and as I've done a lot over the winter, it's, I enjoying the time, but also knowing why I'm doing it, right? So it's enjoying the present while also
enjoying the process.
Yeah, but also having that that mind towards the goal. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. They have goals in mind that they're working towards, but they have trouble enjoying where they are at the present as well. So I think it's a bit of that, being happy with what I'm doing at the time, and then also being, excited to work towards the goal.
Okay. I feel like this is good. This is a lot of info. Yeah. I feel like we've kind of hashed it out. We know what's to come.
And I tried not to get too techie in watts and pace times and all that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Have you even thought about that? So
one more thing though, and this was we're watching Swim Nationals Olympic trials, as Julie mentioned. and I forget the gentleman's name, but he just won, I think, 100 fly, and they're interviewing his dad on Zoom, of course, because no one was allowed in the pool. And his dad said, I just love my son because every day he just tries to do better than the day before. And when he has a bad day, the next day he wakes up and he just tries to be a little bit better. And I just thought,
Yeah, that was
you
just a
know,
good
that's
attitude.
just a good attitude to have. And that's all I think we can do for big challenges and for life.
Speaking of doing better.
That must mean it's fail of the week time.
Speaking of being 1% better than you were the day before.
And just for the record, it's not me this week. So, shocker. Julie's having a big drink before this.
Okay, so the fail of the week this week is brought to you by Julie Stenner Fitness. Okay. So my fail of the week. So pools opened. I was back on it right away. Like, I'm just going to book. I'm going to get in the pool. And I did work that into my schedule because every Sunday night I sit down, we hash out our schedule. We schedule in our work time, our workouts, we schedule everything in. That could also be another podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second though. People think scheduling limits your time. It actually gives you more time because you don't lose time in transitions deciding what to do. You can just, this is what I'm doing. Here I go. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's good. So what this week, what I kind of missed, and I did have it scheduled in, but it was kind of loosely scheduled, and I changed the order of my workouts a lot. So I ended up missing, I think I did I do one strength? Yeah, I missed another strength. I missed some strength work, which is not good because it's so easy to lose strength. I feel like you just really need to keep it up. So what I usually do in the morning, I'll alternate my mornings. Well, now that I added the pool in, I kind of overschedule myself. So I'll usually run in the morning, and then the next morning I'll wake up and do a short walk, like a half-hour walk first before I do my strength, or I'll do my strength before my run or after. So I've kind of been playing with that and using the weather and trying to get outside and trying to be home and finishing my strength when the girls get up. It's kind of a working schedule. But this week I added the swim in there, so I missed my strength. So another part of that is because I'm kind of in between programs. Like when we're doing a specific program, like the 9-Week Control Freak, that was like super easy, got it in, all my schedule workouts were done. Now I am kind of in more of maintenance mode, I guess. So I'm trying to just do 2 or 3 strength workouts a week. So
what are you
they're easy to slip. So what am I going to do this week?
To fix it.
I know it's Sunday. I got to get down. I got to get into my book and plan out my week. So this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my, as much as I love to get out early and get my run done, like as the sun's coming up, maybe I should do my strength first instead of saying I'm going to do it when I get home.
What if you go to bed earlier so you get up earlier?
Yeah, I could do that.
Julie,
we're so bad.
Julie hates that because we've been so bad about it lately.
I know, but I still get up at like 5:30. I have to get up at 5 then. Do my strength because it is good. I know, and I do tell a lot of my physio clients this as well. Like, do your strength first, activate the muscles, get your core strength activated. If that's a thing, I'm not quoting any science on this, but so get the strength in first and then run. But I also do love coming home from my run, knowing that's done. The girls are starting their breakfast and I can do my strength on the deck now outside, which is awesome. So I might do that. I'll see. Or I might do one of each. I don't know. I could try. See, this is so boring. Sorry. I'm like trying to hash out my week right now.
The listeners will be tuning in to see if you have rectified your
I'm going to have to share this on my stories and tell you what I did. So
all right.
That was a long-winded fail of the week.
Yeah, mine are much more just, this is why I suck. But if you want to keep in touch with us, we'll have our socials in the show notes. I am the Time Crunch Triathlete on YouTube and Instagram. You can also email us at stennerfitness@gmail.com. We're happy to chat. And if you'd like to be involved with us as business partners or clients, we're always looking to work with awesome people and help them reach their fitness goals, whatever they are. We have people from all different levels with all different goals. Fun. And it's just really good fun to support you in whatever your endeavor is.
And you can search me Julie Stenner on Instagram or Facebook or
YouTube.
YouTube,
now.
but I changed my Instagram name. I am now Physio Julie Fit. Because there's another Physio Fit Julie out there.
There's only one.
So I am Physio Julie Fit, or you can search Julie Stenner. So.
All right. Anything else? Can we let the kind people go?
We will let the kind folk go.
All right.
Thanks for listening, and see you next week.